Hello? Hello? Hi? It's me. Uh, ah! That is audio indeed. Okay. There we are. Okay, hi, hello, I'm here. It's, time for a stream. Let me just, actually, I will be right back. I'm out of water, and I'm gonna need water for this. Oh no, I've knocked shit over. That's upsetting. One sec. I'm sorry. I'll be here. I'll be here in a sec. I promise. Oh. All right, I'm back. Sorry. Hi. Hello. It's me. It's time for something special. I'm very excited for this. Let's see. That's Danganronpa. Oops. Nope. So yeah. Hi. Um, so I have found something, and it's very special. But first, here's some background. So, pause that. I think I've said this a couple times, but like my real like the reason I started streaming was so I could just mark out time, sit down, and play games that I wouldn't otherwise. Like it started with when Game Grumps started playing Danganronpa on their own channel, and I thought, well, shit, I want to see this, but I also probably should experience this game for myself, because it's one of those games like that is just so massive that you can't help but like it's something you need to like see through and play through yourself. So that's what I did. I started playing through it. Let me see. Actually, I can pull this up. When was the first time I streamed Danganronpa? Oh god. So the first time I streamed Danganronpa was on January 25th of this year. It's been a long time since then. I haven't improved at all, but I have gotten a couple more games under my belt that I'm very proud of doing. Since then, yeah, I've played through the entirety of the Danganronpa franchise. We played through 1, 2, Ultra Despair Girls, we saw the anime, we played through V3, we got through Murder by Numbers, Resident Evil 8, played through the entirety of the Phoenix Wright trilogy, we got through the main game of Doki Doki Literature Club, we one-streamed Helltaker, and we played through World's End Club, which is lots of fun. And I probably wouldn't have played those games otherwise if I hadn't been able to just sit down and say, okay, it's time for this game, and this game only. And I'm very happy with how things have gone. So, in that same vein, I want to keep playing games that I wouldn't play otherwise. And, you know, hopefully we can experience and enjoy them together. So, that's where this game comes in. Now, I was at my local EB Games, grabbing a Christmas present for my brother. No, I think it was before that. I don't know. I think it was at my just hanging out in the mall because I was grabbing some Magic cards, and I thought, why not swing by EB Games? And so I did, and while I was looking around, I found a game that made me immediately want to buy it. Because you do not see these kinds of games here. It is a game called Cupid Parasite. And if the name doesn't give it away, which is a very vague and cutesy name, but it is an otome game, which is not something you see in the West in general, especially not on the shelves of your local game store. So I immediately had to buy it. I have yet to play this one in particular. I've got a different game that is equally as, I think, as equally as terrible, which we're going to be taking a look at today. But yeah, so I saw this and I thought, this is an incredible find. I absolutely have to get this. And so I picked it up, and it's been sitting on my desk for I think it was a week or two. It's been like that. And then I had to go back to the mall. I had to go grab a couple things for my youngest brother's birthday, and that led me back to EB Games. And when I went there, I found this, which is what we're going to be playing today. Let me just take out Danganronpa, put it off to the side neatly, and take this thing. There we go. Look at that. So, this is a game called Café Enchanté. It sounds like a trip. Let's get started. This is another one. I saw this on the shelf and it immediately blew me away. What? There's a second otome game in my local EB Games? That's insane. Oh my god, this looks busy. Okay, yeah. Okay. They're both Arc System games, which explains a lot. Arc System does a lot of, like, a lot of Eastern games out in the West, which I have endless respect for them, because it means I can enjoy this trash as well. That's real loud. And now it stops, so I can't actually, So Otomate presents. Look at all those handsome lads. The other otome game I found is, Cupid Parasite. Look it up, look it up on the Nintendo shop. It is a thing. Miser Rex. Canis Espada. It's a Dullahan! That's amazing. I love him already. Bufado de Rey. He's an angel. Ignis Carbunculus. Kaoru Rindo. It is exactly that. Occasion, like, for the most part. So, if this doesn't give you a clue what otome games are, I don't know what to do. There's a lot of handsome boys on screen. So yeah, otome games, from my shallow understanding, they are women-oriented visual novels. A lot of them end up being dating sims. I am so excited. So, they give you just a couple, I think almost exactly those same CGs you see in the on the store page, and I kind of dig it. Like, this looks like a lot of fun. New customers, regulars, daily specials. Oh, this is awesome. Just totally just some from food. Yeah, you know? This actually looks really good. I like this menu a lot. New customers, regulars. A very crisp bell. Je t'aime juste comme tu es. My butchered French. Skip mode, skip red, text speed, fast, cancel after choice pop-up, auto speed, text speed, display heroine. Display the heroine's face. So if you really want to go full wish fulfillment, you can just turn off the player character portrait. I'm not gonna do that. Oh god.
じゃあ最後は俺かな。魔界アスモディアから来たミシェル・アレックス。
Oh, you can adjust the character's voice volumes. Okay. Wow, there's a lot of characters. Oh my god. Ah, thank you very much. I love you just like you are. Lovely. Controls that I'll immediately forget. That's fine. Alrighty. So, that's just setting the tone for, what this stream's gonna be. Voice only mode. Yeah. Yeah. God. So let's start. We're a new customer. Edit. I guess we're doing this. Edit. Alright. Wes. Oh, okay. Where Wes oh, Kawi. Is it a bit loud? Okay, yeah. I'll turn it down a little bit more. It's a little bit finicky what this is. There we go. How about that? Should be about half my voice now. I probably should look at what other filters I have. Maybe I can have something that deadens it. Filters. Add filter. Chroma key. Yeah, add a chroma key to my visual capture device. Do. I don't know. I'll fuck around with it later. There we go. Okay, so, we can't change her last name, unfortunately, but that's okay. They probably just say it in their lines, which is fine. So, this is our lovely protagonist, Wes Awaki. Wes Awaki. Let's start. Yeah, hell yeah. Let's romance some monster boys. Memories of my childhood. They were filled with images of whispering stream and the aroma of fresh coffee. Yeah, I guess so. Most of those memories sunk into the depths of my mind as something, even so. Faint memories come to the front of my mind when I sometimes close my eyes in silence. This is a delightful cafe. The enchanting sounds of jazz standards on old records ushering in guests. A sharp, flavorful scent of coffee floating gently through the cafe. The warm, inviting light of the chandeliers glimmering upon the rows of glasses. Yes, my memories of that place are precious to me. But there's a memory of something much greater etched into my heart. It's the sound of my grandfather laughing together with the guests he served. Ah. What do you think your old grandpa keeps this little cafe open? Does you like coffee? Well, that too. Many cafe owners do open shop simply because they love coffee. But if they like coffee so much, couldn't they just brew it at home? The main reason I opened this place at all is for the people. Some of them drop by just for a cup, but sometimes they become patrons after falling in love with my brew. And some, yes, some of them come from faraway places beyond imagination. I started up this cafe as a pastime, unconcerned with making a cent, but now that I have patrons who call this place home, they just close up shop so easily. This cafe is for the patrons? That's right. Now listen carefully. Anyone can brew a cup of coffee for themselves, but it tastes better when someone brews it for you. Huh? Not that you'd understand yet. Ah, last customer's about to leave. Well, do you remember what to say when a guest leaves? Yeah. I hope you come back soon. Café Enchanté. What a charming intro. I really like that. Phew. I feel like I've been lost for so long. I finally made it. I take my gaze away from the map in my hands. I need to turn up this text speed. Look across the familiar landscape. Cafe Enchanté. A name I hadn't heard in a while. Why didn't they have the accent? It's been maybe 15 years now? Hearing myself say these words out loud makes me realize how long it's been. Even if the world around it has changed, as all of the years have passed by, it looks exactly how I always remember it. I feel so happy at the fact, for some reason. So much that it makes me smile. Yep, it definitely makes me smile. Oh, there we are. Options. Text speed. Speed that shit up. 15 years. Yep, I did a good job getting here. Getting here, if I do say so myself. If I do say so myself. Well, I was completely reliant on this map app. Put my phone away and exchange it for a piece of paper and key in my bag. What brought me here is a letter from my beloved grandfather. And the key to this cafe. I'm back, Grandpa. I'll be in your care now. I quietly greet the small, simple key. And carefully, I open the door to this familiar place. Oh wow. The space that appeared before me was the one within the fog of my mind. The faded scenes tucked in my memories regain their color and their strength. I take a few steps forward, noticing a layer of dust draped all over. It had all been left alone for so long. Still, a dim fragrance of coffee lingers in the air about the room. I find comfort in that. Huh. No doubt about it. This is definitely Grandpa's shop. Wood furnishings from back then radiate the comforting feeling of nature. My fingers glide upon the tables and chairs, neatly and evenly laid out about the space. That sense of familiarity fills me again. The cups polished to a shine, and the colorful saucers matching them. And the hand-operated coffee mill and siphons lined up behind the counter. Oh, they have a dictionary. Coffee mill. Device that crushes coffee beans for easier brewing. Range from hand crank to electric in many varieties. And can greatly change the taste of coffee. Siphon appears like flasks attached together. Coffee brewing device that uses steam. Well, it takes a lot of work to use. Many people like the atmosphere it offers. I need to go to more cafes. I need to get into coffee. Especially after I've played through Persona 5 like 3 times now. And every single time I've always maxed Sojiro. I really need to get into coffee. They stand there still holding their shine. Yeah, they were always cared for so very well. Now that I'm here, I should take a look around the whole shop. Oh, this is where Grandpa yelled at me, huh? This is the pillar I tried to climb as a kid. The stairs were difficult to walk upon with its tall steps. Now we learn about coffee. Yep, we're gonna learn a whole bunch about coffee apparently. They got a whole dictionary. Hallway floor where I struggled to clean the drawings I made upon it. Looking around conjures up all sorts of old memories. Huh, I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like I got yelled at a whole lot. The next thing I looked at was the storehouse. It held a bunch of things. It didn't seem dirty to me. It would be a lot of physical work to clean all of it up. Right, I guess all was left alone after he passed. I'd have to look through everything to know what it was all used for. Can't do anything right now though, huh? Oh, very swanky kitchen. Behind the counter seating is a large kitchen. Oh wow, never noticed the kitchen before. Faded memory of my grandpa making a quick meal comes to mind. I think, at the time, he was making a sandwich, and of course, he was happy, smiling. I floated through the kitchen, making my way back to the back of Enchanté. There wasn't much. Were the remains of what used to be a vegetable garden. In the corner, there was a small flower bed. Colorful vegetables and the pretty flowers decorating the area always looked so impressive. That's right, I remember crying here. My face grew flushed from the memory of me throwing a fuss, wanting to water the flowers, rolling around and crying over it. Being back here just opens up a floodgate of memories, one after the other. I continued touring the first floor, as if to search for those moments I'd forgotten. And then, I mutter again, I'm back, Grandpa. Away from Tokyo, the capital of Japan. Far from the city center, sitting in an alley after a 5-minute walk. The privately owned Café Enchanté. The person who owned this shop was none other than my late grandfather. Oh no, Soe Anawaki? Soe Anawaki, the heroine's grandfather, who's owned our Café Enchanté. While he had a refined appearance, he had a hearty and broad-minded personality. A master at brewing coffee. Sure brings back memories. The amount of nostalgia I feel seems endless. Until I was about 4, my parents were too busy, and I lived here at Café Enchanté with Grandpa. When my parents decided to settle down in the country, Grandpa continued to watch after the cafe. That's probably why I thought it would still be his forever. I never once imagined that I'd be the one to come and continue running the shop. Man, it's gonna be a horrible, horrible mix of Japanese and fucking fantasy names. I'm dreading it already. Enchanté was a cafe, but it was also a place that Grandpa called home. The building was surprisingly large. The drafty second and third floors were living spaces, as only the first floor was the cafe. With the counter seats facing the bar, and a cozy table seating around the shop, there was a total of about 20 seats here. The menu board seemed to have just some basic drip coffee available. That type of brewed coffee. Coffee beans are placed in filter, and then hot water is poured in to brew it. Very standard brewing technique. Types of beans were written there, but it prompted patrons to choose their brew. You got to see it brew as you chatted. And probably French. Ugh. I apologize in advance, Zach. I am so sorry. I feel like I've already butchered a lot of it. Grandpa thought it was too much of a pain to decide the types of brew himself, so he'd make the customer decide. Though I think it was really popular to be able to choose your method, from the Nell drip to the siphon, and watch the process. What is a Nell drip? Method of coffee brewing using a cloth filter. Alright then. Thank you for that insight. That's right. Just then, from the corner of my eye, I see curtains hung up behind the stairs and move towards them. I thought I had walked through all of the first floor already. What's behind these curtains? Looking from the garden, there should be another room behind these curtains. I go through them, deep in thought. I knew it. Hello. What was this room for? I tilt my head and wonder at the room, hidden so far in the back. Still, if it's possible, I'll be taking over this place. I should have an understanding of the interior of the shop, so... Hello? Attempting to figure out what this last room was, I opened its doors. Something came into my vision immediately. It was an ostentatiously adorned door that didn't quite match the rest of the cafe. What is this? This room is probably far too large. Come to think of it. Wait, is this room just for this door? Right, aside from the ornate door, there was nothing else here. Even though there was space for it, like the storehouse, nothing was kept here. Nothing stored, no extra furniture. Just a door. It just sits there. Why is there a door here? I took a peek behind it, but sure enough, there was nothing there. Just the rest of the room. It doesn't open either. I hadn't the slightest clue as to what it was doing here. It's just an old door. No idea when it might have been built. Even though there's no doubt it was old, its frame seemed strangely free of blemishes. Gazing at the doorbell hung at the top, I tilted my head in wonder yet again. Maybe Grandpa bought it thinking he would use it to replace another door. He always liked antiques and old things. That's the only reason I could think of as to why it would be here. Is it normal for anyone to really have just a door in here? A plate read open and closed on it, which must have been intended to be used at the entrance. Thank you for explaining what a plate is. I imagine my free-spirited and showy grandpa going through the effort and smiling wryly to myself. But now that he's gone, I'll never know what he intended to do with this. I have to take over. Enchante won't be in business anymore. I reached out to the plate marked closed. Grandpa must have turned it over before he passed. This lonely-looking plate that would turn people away, knowing the cafe would never open again. I decided to... I've got a choice. Absolutely turn it to open. I acted on a whim. The store led nowhere, and it stood in the middle of a shop that lost its owner. The slime was writhing in boredom, proclaiming the store's closed status. It seemed strange to me to even feel this, but it looked a little lonely. My feelings guided me. I turned over the plate. The lid is written on the sign jumped into my sight. And in that moment, the world changed.
やっと見つけた。
I finally found you. The doorbell rang, announcing a customer. The light spilling from the doors blinded me, and the first thing I felt was a warmth that enveloped my entire body. A sweet embrace, as if holding something precious and delicate. Those glimmering eyes were looking straight at me. Where did he come from? Who is he?
もう二度とないかもと思っていたのに。
I thought it would never happen again.
本当に
Really,
こんな
really.
日が
Just think such a day would come. Most importantly, I was wondering why I was being held all of a sudden. With the question spinning in my head, I take a breath. Hmm? You're a little too close. Do you mind taking a step back? Oh, look at him. He's so handsome. Look, it's our it's our first monster boy. I mustered all my strength to say anything I could. And escaped from his arms. Quickly backed away to the wall, putting myself on guard, clutching my phone.
あれこれはもしかしてすっごく警戒されちゃった感じ
Wait, are you... Is something about me suspicious to you? Even though the words held a certain intent, it seemed like he was laughing in a grin, enjoying this moment.
ああそんなに緊張しない
Hey,
で
you
も
don't have to be so scared of me, okay? I'm not dangerous. I can't trust you at all. Who in the world even are you? You must be a criminal. You are, right? Completely ready to call the police, I glare at the man.
まさかこれでも歴史ある家の出だよなんならサインでもあげようか
It's fully voice acted, but it's all in Japanese. Fuck! Of course not. I'm from a pretty historical family. I'll let you give you my autograph. I don't want that. I was trying to do my best to intimidate him. But after seeing that, it was pretty apparent that he was smiling. His features were beautiful. His jade eyes, his unique hair. He had these horns. This was an emergency, but his face gave me the impression he had things under control. That aside, that embrace just now was practically assault. Wait, what? Are those really horns growing beside your ears?
触りたい
What, my horns? You want to touch them? No, I'm fine. I don't want to do that.
なんだ
Oh, that's boring.
遠慮しなくてもいいのに
Well, you don't have to hold yourself back, you know. He closes the distance between us. I circle around him to get further away. Let me look at him more closely. Actually, I don't need to look closely. It wasn't only features, but his outfit seemed very unique. It was a loose robe adorned with colors of black and purple. They were clothes not worn by anyone other than a wizard from a fantasy world. Your clothes. Cosplay? For some kind of wizard character? Is it defining cosplay? I guess it is. Wow.
ああこれコスプレっていうか清掃俺これでも偉い人だからさ
Oh, these. They're not so much cosplay as they are my formal attire. I'm an important person after all.
あとついでに
And while we're at it, I'm not a wizard, I'm a lord.
魔王が正解かな
Oh, Mao!
ああそうだこう言えば信じてもらえるかな
Oh, right. Maybe you'll begin to trust me if I told you this.
俺はここの店主ソーアンと知り合い
Soan.
だから怪しく
That's his name.
セーフ
I know the owner of this shop, Soan. I'm not dangerous, okay? I'm totally harmless. You know my grandpa?
そうその
Yes,
通り
exactly. That's why I know who you are, too.
君のことも知ってるよ
You're Soan's granddaughter, Wes Hawaki,
だよね
right? Yes, that's right. An acquaintance of Grandpa's. That's true, I suppose it would put me at ease, at least for a little bit. Still, even if that's true, where did you come from? Seemed like he came through those doors, but I was alone when I was in here earlier. Pointed my finger at the door. Was he behind the door? Well, it's hard to believe he was hiding from my sight the entire time. Well, I arrived today. The shop had been closed ever since Grandpa passed away. Considering that, anyone other than myself being in here is strange. I'm not too sure how to explain that. It's simple, yet complicated. What he glanced suggestively at was the same thing I pointed to. The door. It would make sense if everyone was here. Suddenly the horn man stopped speaking, and I felt a disturbance around me. What? An earthquake? Tremors get more and more intense. Thought that Enchanté itself would be in trouble until... Everyone must be excited. Without Enchanté's barrier, an entire town could have been blown away. Barrier? A town blown away? What? Originating from Buddhism, in this game, refers to a magical effect used for defense and isolation of existences. You're really explaining barrier, eh? Save the questions for later. Here they come, speak of the devil. I think you should take a few steps back. Unable to even reply, with a flick of his finger. For some reason, I felt my entire body immediately pulled backwards. I fell to the ground from the sudden force. And in the next instant, what happened before me surprised me even more.
おい、じじい、店開けるのが遅えんだよ。何ヶ月待ったと思ってんだ。
My old man, you're late to open up the shop. How many months do you think it's been, huh? Oh, is this the punk?
ひどいです、そうは。何も言わずに締め出すなんて。退屈すぎて打点が進んだ気がします。
Oh, shame, Soan. You shut us out without saying a word. It's been so long, I believed I'd fallen even further down.
やはりアンシャンテはいい。久々に訪れると、
Indeed.
ますますそう感じるな。
Enchanté is quite splendid. I feel this way with each and every arrival.
お？なんだよ、てめえらも来てたのか。
Oh. There's a log there. I accessed the log somehow. Why? Oh, fuck! Well, I guess we're reading from the log. I accidentally hit skip. I didn't think I could skip.
しばらく見ねえから、どっかで落ちんだと思ってた。お？なんだ。
Rewind to this part. Oh, excellent! That's not a feature you ever see. Huh? Oh, you're all here too, huh?
しばらく見ねえから、どっかで落ちんだと思ってたぜ。
Haven't seen any of you in a while. I figured you all went off and died, you know. Wait, this wild-looking man had flames spilling out of his entire body.
このメンバーが死ぬというのは。
It would be difficult to think that any one of us could really die, wouldn't it? This man had clean features on his face and wings growing out of his back.
言えている。
Quite right. I wasn't able to die in the first place. Man looked like a knight clad in black armor. He was from the Middle Ages.
んなことは分かってるっつうの。相変わらず冗談が通じねえ。
Don't you know that I know that? God, can't take a joke. Hey, where's the old man?
こんだけ長いこと俺らを締め出したんだ。
If it's hanging out there, I'm not gonna let you off easy. Well, not unless you get me a meal in my house as an apology.
それは随分簡単に許
That
す。
sounds like you'd let him off quite easy, actually.
いえ。ですが確かに。
No, no. However, we should locate Soan as to inquire as to what has happened.
予約していた作品の
I'm quite concerned over the matter of a particular limited edition drama CD I had pre-ordered through him. Ah, they have noticed. They have noticed me, I see. Huh? This kid is
そう。
Soan.
そうなんだ。しばらく見ないうちに随分と愛らしい姿だ。
Lord Soan, you've become quite dainty in the while we have been apart.
いや、どう見ても別人だろうが。
Just look, she's a different person. Where the hell are you two even looking? Ah, I guess we really couldn't know where you would be looking, Canis.
カヌスの場合は文字通りの意味
Canis.
で本当どこに目があるんだろうね
I have to replay them just so I get the voice right. So we have Canis. We have Soan. I don't know the rest of them. I look at these four suspicious men before me and find that my mind is completely frozen. As my eyes shot around frantically, one of them slowly eases his way to me.
おいこら不審者女ソーアンの留守に店に入り込むと
You there, the trespassing girl. You got some guts to sneak into the old man's shop while he's gone. What? Trespasser? That's what I should be saying. Just was about to yell that. The man I first met cuts in.
ごめんね
Sorry, Wes. This crew is a suspicious and dubious bunch, but they don't really mean any harm, so don't worry. Well, you act like you're not one of them. You're all trespassers to me.
おっと
Oops.
ノリでいける
I thought I could just stride my way through, but I suppose she won't be letting me off easily. I mean, including you. Who are you guys?
どちら様も何も
What do you mean? As you can see. He stops to flash another smile and speaks.
異世界からのお客様だけど
We are guests from another world. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So, welcome to Cafe Enchanté. That's the prologue of it. It is a delightful game from what I've seen so far. Cheating Demon King. Meister Rex. Miser Rex. Canis Espada. Headless Knight. The Gentle Headless Knight. Yatome Loving Falling Angel. The Fado de Rey. Ignis Carbunculus. The Bold Softy. Demon Beast. Aurindo. The Mature Special Agent. Otone Awaki. Open world, not humans in a cafe. Woven together in wonder and excitement. Welcome to our story. This looks like a treat. Main Chapter 1. Trespasser wearing a helmet. I see. So someone did indeed pass away. Okay. Took off his armor and he's just a dude. He's got a vest. Oh, that's very funny. The cafe hasn't been open for months. I had feared as much.
まだ信じられないです
Still, I cannot believe it. He was so full of energy the last I saw him.
人間っていうのは短命だからね
Humans don't live long after all. He was pretty old, although he didn't look like it.
今思うと俺たちを一度帰らせたのも
Now that I think of it, the reason he made us all leave must have been because he knew he'd be passing away very soon. Maybe so. Regardless, it's a tragedy that we lost him.
死刑脱らすんじゃねえよ
Nya.
死んじまったもんは仕方ねえだ
Stop looking so sad. He's dead. There's nothing we can do about that.
イグニス、そのような言い方は
Ignis. Please take care how you choose to address the situation.
うるせえ
Shut it.
ここでいじけてりゃジジイが
How I talk gets the old man to crawl back out of his grave. I'll say whatever the hell I want.
けどそうじゃね
We know that won't happen. He died.
だった
Since that's fact, we should be thinking about what we should do
これ
next.
か
Am I
らど
wrong?
うするかだろ違うか
一理ある。相変わらずイグニスは見た目に反して常識的だな。
You have a point. Really does impress me how you always have so much common sense, despite the way you choose to appear.
そうですね。
Indeed.
見た目はどうも
Everything about you makes you seem like a ruffian.
見た目についててめえらだけに
You
は言わ
twos
れない
aren't,
ね
aren't ones to talk when it comes to looks, especially you, Helmet Head.
でも実際イグニスの言う通りだよね。
Weakness raises a viable point.
ソーアンが亡くなった以
Now
上
that Soen's gone,
こ
what
の
will become of
暗
Enchanté?
殺の行く末はどうなるの？それ次第で俺たちだっていろいろと今後
The answer to that question would have us consider all sorts of things, right?
そうだな。
Exactly right. The only reason we're able to come here is because of Lord Soen.
まあな
Yeah, it's impossible to force a way back in here
一度締め出されちまっ
if we've been pushed out.
た無理に来るってのは無粋ってもんだろ
うん。ということでさ。
Indeed, that being the case, let the person who holds our very fate.
まずは
That is, the girl holding her head and hiding under the table right now.
どうにかして
We should do something about her, don't you think? The fact these men came out of nowhere through the door that led to nothing. The fact it felt like their appearances changed the moment I glanced away from them. The fact that they call themselves guests from another world. I just don't know what's going on anymore. Honestly, I just want them to leave me alone until I wake up from this terrible dream. I held my head in thought, but as if ignoring my pathetic plea. Name was Wes Sawaki, right? For a minute, I could only see as suspicious trespassers come closer and closer to me.
こいつがジジイの孫娘ってマ
It's
ジ
really the old man's granddaughter.
いまいち
It's kinda hard to believe.
間違いないでしょう。
There's no doubt about
彼
it.
女にはソーアンの面影
She clearly has traits of someone's face. The young man who had wings spoke gently, peering into my face.
突然の訪問。
We apologize for the sudden visit. I assure you there's no reason to fear us.
ありません。
Really?
無論だ。
Absolutely.
ソーアン殿にかけて
Swear upon someone's name.
我々は決して
There's no reason to be suspicious of us.
下がる
Why do you back away?
いやもうてめえは黙って
Okay, shut it, Canis.
見るからに不審者のてめえが口開くとこれっぽっちも話
I'm not gonna get anywhere with you. Anyone would suspect someone who looks the way you do.
ということで君。
Wes, I know it's daunting to be here at such strange people, but can you at least listen to what we have to say? Why do you keep trying to talk to me as if you aren't one of them? No matter how many times I close my eyes or pinch my cheeks, it doesn't seem like the situation will disappear. I take a deep breath, stand up with caution, and look with half opened and with eyes half open, take a look. This is a man I first met, or rather, the one that held me unexpectedly. He was a young man who had a refined aura to him, despite breaking into the cafe. And the rowdy-looking man glaring at me with an unamused look on his face. No comment. Suspicious trespassers. They're all suspicious considering they broke into the cafe. But ignoring the one with the helmet on, they seem to be normal people. Perhaps. Still. Then, what was with how they looked just now? Let me figure out what's going on. You all are guests, right? They seem pretty familiar with Enchanté, and they do seem to know Grandpa. So the answer that all leads to is, are you guests to the cafe?
そうだよ
That's it. No, we're actually regulars. We're the ones who hang around here all the time.
入り浸ってたんだからな
You hang around here?
そうだね。
Yes, from
朝
open to
から
close.
晩まで
We'll be saying good morning and good night in one visit.
感じかな。
私に関してはいわゆる住み込みでしたから。
For me, I essentially made residence here. That's actually a bit of a nuisance. But who are these people in the first place? The very first moment I met them. How did they look when they first appeared? When I saw them in that brief moment. A man clad in armor over his entire body. A man with wings on his back. The wavering flames. The way they looked back then. Everyone, I feel like you all looked much different when you first got here.
格好
We look different. Oh, you mean how we look when we use our powers?
ああ、そっか。
Ah, I see. Right, we do look quite different when we do that, huh?
俺たちは無意識にやって
We just do it unconsciously, and Soan never really paid any mind, so this reaction is kind of refreshing.
あ格好うんぬんって
We look. You mean like
これのことか
this? No sooner than he spoke, he transformed, as if he were in a movie. Just then, a wind so hot that it made it hard to breathe swept across my face. Not emphatically, and everything disappears in the very next instant.
確かに改めてこれが何
Truthfully, it is difficult to answer what this really is when asked about it. His helmet looks far more imposing like this.
随分と場所を取る
For me, I take up a bit of space, you see.
そう
Lord Soan scolded me much for it, always telling me I was in the way.
おいしみじみ嬉しそうに
You know, as pleased as you sound right now, you're also in the way.
これは言ってしまえば
I suppose you could say that this is one form of our existence.
こういうことができる存在
We are beings capable of doing this. That is all I can say about who we are. I see.
お、疑問解決。
Are all your questions answered now? Great. Calling them answered is a stretch. Went from I don't get it to I have no idea what's happening. Then, in a spark of curiosity, I asked another question. Okay then, how about you? Are you able to do that too? As if he didn't expect me to ask that, he looked a bit surprised, and then...
君はエッチだな。
Ah, you're a bit of a perv, huh? What? What makes you say that? And so, by asking those few questions, I came to the following conclusion. These men were in fact outsiders, separated far from the rules of this world. So, what, or who, really are all of you? It seemed ridiculous to ask such a question. I had no other choice but to do so. I reluctantly asked my question, and the men all looked at each other. All their different expressions, some that seemed surprised, some that understood.
そうかやはりソーアン殿からは
I
事
see.
情を聞いていなかったか
Lord Soan truly kept all this from you, didn't he? The most suspicious, the one with the helmet, which was glowing oddly on the inside, spoke as he was pushing his chest forward.
では改めて自己紹介をさせてもらうとしよう
Then, allow me to introduce myself.
我の名はカヌスエスパー
My name is Canas. Canas Espada.
ダ妖精界メリオの騎士だソーアン殿には大変世話になった
I am a knight of the fairy world, Medio. I was under the great care of Lord Soan.
私はイルファド・デ・リエ
I am Ilfado de Ria.
天界カエルム出身の天使ではなく
I am an angel of the heavenly world, Kaon.
された
Or rather, I was an angel, fallen after breaking the laws of my world.
同じくソーアンには
I have in the been in the care of Soan as well. He is quite a splendid man.
イグニス・カリブンクルス獣界ベスティアの魔獣
Ignis Carbunculus, a demon beast from the beast world Bestia.
じゃあ最後は俺かな。魔界アスモディアから来たミシェル・アレックス。
I guess I'm the last then, huh? I'm from the demon world, Asmodia. Miser Rex.
見ての通りとっても強い魔王様。よろしくね。
I'm the powerful demon king, as you can see. Nice to meet you. A demon, a knight, a fallen angel, a beast. Tough call. The most mundane one is the funniest. Like a knight. But I quite like, I've lost his name already. That's just bad of me. Canis. Wait, I can't process what's happening. I crouched down with a headache caused by all the strange words and weird introductions. At least I was able to understand that all these people were absolute weirdos. Out of all those people, if I were to pick who the strangest of all... You're Canis, the knight, was it?
ああカヌス・エスパーダだ
Yes, Canis Espada. Again, my condolences for what happened. Thank you. He looks strange, but he is gentlemanly. I should probably save. Saving data. Yeah, I got a ton. 99 save spots. Good lord. Ah, fuck. Time to rewind. I can rewind all the way back here. Wow. I'm very impressed. You don't usually get to do this. That's not an option they ever give you. Save it here. Choice selection. Knight. He looks strange, but he is gentlemanly. Putting that aside, there are a lot of things I'd like to ask.
他ならぬソーアン殿の孫娘のこと
Yes, you are Soan's
答えられ
granddaughter.
る話ならば
Shall answer you to the best of my abilities.
まず身長は190センチ
Oh, the fire changes color based on his mood. That's cute.
ガーデニングなどを少々たしなんで
I'm 190 centimeters tall. My weight is a secret. I have several hobbies, including weight training and gardening. No, wait, that's not what I want to know. Hang on, why is your weight a secret? That's such a silly... Wait, that's not important. What is important is what's obvious. I want to know why you're dressed like that. In particular, that helmet. Why a helmet? After my short tirade, Canis thinks for a moment and speaks.
これでもなかなかのコーデだと自
Actually, I thought I coordinated my attire quite well today.
何か気にす
You
る
feel something's off? Coordinated?
人間界
Yes. When I came to the human world, Soan advised me not to stand out too much. And that's why you have that outfit on? Taking another look at it from the neck down, he seemed like any other guy around town with a normal shirt and vest on. But his neck and upkeep was covered by an iron helmet, like one from the Middle Ages. Can't possibly be the only one here who notices Grandpa's advice hadn't been applied very well at all. Having to glance to the side to find the Demon King, snickering as he read my mind.
他に何か気になる点はあるだろうか
You found another questionable point. It's not that I found another point, it's everything about you. Light gleaming from his helmet catches my eye. Looks almost like flames. What in the world is that? What's that light coming from your neck?
これは
This is...
それはあれだね。
Those are just computer graphics. You can see the color changing, right? that excuse doesn't fly. What? I know that's not what it is.
いいからそういうことにし
Just leave it at that. Such a drag to try and explain it too. Seriously? It's clearly not normal though. Well, in any case, I suppose I should ask about someone else. What do I do? Heavenly worlds and angels, demon worlds and demon kings? There's so many things wrong to the point out that I don't know how to react. How much of this are they serious about? How much of this is a joke? As I sit struggling to ask what to ask next, one of them walks towards me.
今は戸惑いばかりでしょうが
Wes, I'm certain this is overwhelming, but there's no need to understand everything all at once.
こちらも少しずつ説明
I shall try and explain some things myself, but all of us in this cafe, considering you will be its new owner,
新しいマスターなのですから
you're... was it Ilfa?
惜しい
Close. Unfortunately, that is incorrect. My friendship level won't rise at this rate. Just stop. This is too meta. Friendship level?
私は打天使
I am the fallen angel, Ilf
呼びに
Fado
来
de
れば
Rey.
イルで結構です
Feel free to call me Ill if you like. Il smiles after his explanation. Not entirely sure if he's a fallen angel, but there's definitely an otherworldly aura about him that would make me believe so. He carries himself with poise and seems the most normal out of the four of them. Does he? Oh, did the release date change? I was still looking forward to the counting down this one. He gave an exasperated look at the fallen angel. He gestures to excuse himself as he takes out a smartphone. What are you doing?
発売日の変更通知が届いたので新作の公式サイトを確認しようかと
I was notified about a release date change. I'm checking the site to confirm. I do not get any signal in the heavenly world.
ですが
Oh, but they're adding a new character?
追加
I would never have thought that the character would get its own route.
専用ルートが
That character would get their own... What? He claims to come from another world, yet he just naturally took out a smartphone. On top of that, they have no idea what he's mumbling about. I guess even if he seems normal, even this guy has something wrong with him. Well, in any case, I suppose I should just ask about someone else. So, how am I supposed to be responding to these earth-shattering self-introductions? Though rigid from shock, I noticed something. That one that calls himself Ignis, staring at me. He's scary. I could feel his gaze upon me. But looking a little more closely, the prince in his t-shirt is kinda cute. Yeah. Huh? I mean... Unable to withstand his piercing gaze anymore, I gather my courage and address him. You're the demon beast Ignis, right? Yeah. Did I do something wrong? I don't know why he's staring at me. That's what I thought until he dismisses me with a grunt and looks away.
別に
No, I just thought you were a pretty plain girl.
随分さえ
Being the old man's granddaughter. Huh? He flips his head to the side after muttering his rude comment. Why'd I have to receive this kind of abuse in our first meeting? Well, in any case, I suppose I should ask about someone else. A Demon King. Even I realize how dumbfounded I sound as his words spilled from my lips. The man is standing in front of me, Miser. I vaguely remember him saying something like that the first time he appeared.
ああ魔王
Right, a Demon
今回
King.
では割とメジャー
It's a major role in the human world, right? Heard my name before, yes? Versus to this world, where the hero and the others live. A major role? I mean, sort of that. You mean that sort of. Oh, fuck.
人間を虐殺したり世界を征服したり闇に
I don't know how to turn on auto.
姫様をさらったりするあれだね
Sort of character, like the one in video games? Yes, right. We massacre humans, conquer worlds, descend to darkness, kidnap lovely princesses, that sort of thing.
だから油断してると
So if you let your guard down, I'll kidnap you too, princess.
お姫様
Talking about massacring people with that smile on doesn't seem quite right.
ああとは
Hi Noah, welcome to the stream!
魔王様とか呼ばずに
Well, even if I am one, I'm not on the job. You don't need to call me Demon King, just Miser is fine. Yeah, very handy to have. Just whenever it pops up, a highlighted word, hit down. It'll explain.
ああでもミッシーとかみっちゃん呼びも捨てがたいな
Oh, but you can give me a nickname, like Mishi or Michan.
ほら相性って
Nicknames make you feel like you're a bit closer with that person, don't they? No, I have no need for that. I don't need to close the gap between us. And so, after a bit of conversation...
そういえば
That's right. Now that Soan's gone. I guess we can't drink his coffee anymore, huh?
コーヒーも
そうなるな
Would be the case. More and more, I realize we have lost a great person.
コーヒーなんて苦いだけ
Coffee's always bitter. Not being able to eat here anymore is way more important than the coffee.
重要だって
苦いというよりも
Always bitter.
イグニス
Ignis, in your case, wouldn't you actually die from drinking some?
はあなんでだよ
Huh?
コー
Why the hell would I
ヒーなん
die?
て死ぬわけね
Could die just from drinking coffee.
なんと
Oh my.
が知らないとは危険
It'd be fatal if you're unaware, Ignis. If you give dogs coffee or onions,
コーヒーや玉ねぎを与えると
such food stuff induce poisoning symptoms in dogs. So you should never feed them. I didn't know dogs were allergic to coffee. I knew about onions.
だから
God, stop it. Stop calling me a dog, you angel nerd. Angel nerd. Miser the Demon King. Canis the Knight. Ill the Fallen Angel. Ignis the Demon Beast. After their fantasy-ridden introductions, they chattered amongst themselves.
さてとどうかな
Now then, how about it, Wes?
ちゃんと
Were we able to convey who we are to you? From the looks of them, it didn't seem like they were trying to trick me or tell me absurd lies about alternate worlds. Right. Even though... I'll try for now. Honestly, I don't even understand half of what you're all talking about. Anyway, none of you are normal people. But to my grandfather, you were all important customers, right?
ああ我らは
Yes.
人の断りの外
We do live outside the rules of man.
別
It's
の
not wrong to consider us abnormal.
って間違いない
ソーアンが俺たちを
Though we'll never be able to know if Soan really did care about us.
今じゃ確かめようがないけどさでも彼が
If you really did think of us that way, we're truly lucky to have known him.
すごくすごく
Don't know what sort of bond, what sort of time these men and Grandpa spent together. But I couldn't help but notice. Miser's smile was one of melancholy. At that point, Ignis and everyone who took a seat nearby and showed they were ready to have a serious chat with me.
まあれだこの際俺たちのことを信じる
Well, he can decide if he trusts us or not at a later time.
それより
More importantly, we'd like to know,
てめえはここに何
what did you come here to do? What? His eyes squinted a bit more. It was silent. His sharp gaze was upon me, scanning every little detail.
そうだそうなんだ
Yeah. Solan's
てめえ
granddaughter,
の話は
Wes.
俺たちもジジイから何度も聞かされてる
Oh, right trigger skip is the skip mode. Okay, I'm learning now.
昔はこの店でジジイと住んでたらしい最近じゃ仕事が忙しく
We've heard about you a bunch of times from the old man himself. Seems like he used to live in the shop. You hadn't seen him in a while because work has been too busy. So why are you here now, of all times? And do you really think of Enchanté? Your answer is very important to us. I have a feeling they also guessed as to why the granddaughter of the shop owner came, after the shop was abandoned for so long. And that this meant Enchanté was at a crossroads. Whether or not you're taking over the shop or closing it down. Miser spoke as if he read my mind. As if reacting to his somber smile, I hold out a letter towards them. The reason I came here is because of this letter I received from Grandpa. If I die, I leave the shop in your hands. Go there yourself and have a look around. If you feel you don't need it, sell it. Or you can feel free to make it your own place. That's what the letter says. Lord Soan's final request. I nod. My fingers graze the leaf of paper as I look toward them again. You're right. I hadn't taken time to see Grandpa. It's not because I didn't want to. I love him. He used to take care of me. If anyone took advantage of his kindness to escape from my current problems, I'm sure he would have been sad. What do you mean, escape? Right. I didn't want my dear grandpa to hate me for leaving that place. But in the end, his passing is what brought me this letter, and brought me here again. In fact, this has all been triggered for me to escape that place. That's the truth. No idea what you're talking about. I'm sure you're just imagining things. Soan would never fuss over something so small. He'd laugh like an idiot, and then he'd move on. That'd be it. Ignis's words were tinged with sadness. Hearing them, I turned towards the others. Grandpa talked about how important this cafe always was to him. So, if there are any secrets to it, I'd like to know them in every detail. So please tell me. What exactly is this cafe? What are these alternate worlds? My question made them look at each other. The sound of the shop returned to what it must have been like before we arrived. Silent. It's fucking foreshadowing, man. It is difficult to describe in words. I can say that it is just as you have seen. This Cafe Enchanté. Here there's a gateway to other worlds, a place where others can come and visit. Lord Soan, keeper of Enchanté, ran it and took us non-humans in as guests. This is reminding me, I forget what the name is, Isekai Nobu? It's the same, it's a very similar premise. It's a bar that has a door to another world in the back, and it just welcomes guests on the off hours. It's a very charming read. Oh, here it is. Izakaya. A very, very charming read. I really like it. It's one of those, like, food manga. And every chapter is, like, a different dish, and everyone's always happy at the end. It's great. It's so on. Yes, that's how it has long been the case here. A shop where distant worlds intersect. A place of fun, and a place of belonging. You know, you're still so small. You wouldn't remember, huh? Hmm? Wait. Did I meet you at some point in the past, Miser? It was such a short meeting, after all. It wasn't surprising that you don't remember. That's the truth. Had they already been coming back to the cafe while I was still living here as a child? I closed my eyes to try to remember. Fragments of images began to cross my mind. Events buried in my memories of these past 15 years began to suffice. into surface. Main reason I opened this place at all is for the people. Of course, these memories are from when I was a child. It's difficult to recall them. I don't think I'd ever considered then that the customers I saw weren't normal human beings. Now that they mention it, I feel something nagging at the back corners of my mind. These still fleeting, fragmented memories slumbering within. And some, yes, some of them, come from faraway places beyond imagination. That's right. Grandpa was always so cheerful when he would talk about the guests that visit. Didn't matter if they were human or not. Probably just don't remember. I'm certain Meiser and the others would be in those memories. All these bizarre stories I'm hearing. I feel like I can believe them all, just by recalling the heartfelt words of my grandpa. It's all true, isn't it? But the other worlds, the non-humans, the grandpa kept this place open for all of you. Yeah, though I think that what proves that best is our very existence. I also swear this to be the truth, that I am a fallen angel in and out, and have stayed at Enchanté for a long time. This is why we believe this to be the most amazing cafe. However, now that Lord Soan has passed, things will not be the same as they once were. Canis shakes his head with sullen movements. You all came to the shop from other worlds using the door, right? So, what happens if the shop was demolished? The shop closed down and was demolished. I'm pretty sure the door wouldn't survive. Nothing really. As long as the door stays unlocked, we can come and go whenever we want. A lock? Look at the gate. See that plate hung on the door, correct? The plate. I assume it's the one that reads open and closed. Right, but I see it, but is that the lock? Ah! Sorry. My bad. It's odd that our lock is that plate. Just as it says. The door is open when it's on open, and when it stays closed when it reads closed. As far as we know, it's just as Ignis says. We can come and go whenever we want, as long as the lock stays open. Though sometimes, some unpleasant things might come through there, so I recommend only keeping it open or closed when necessary. What unpleasant things? The kind who would destroy the world, those who would think of others as lesser beings and murder them in cold blood. Well, shit, that's not not ominous at all. Jesus, don't say that with a smile, fucking angel. What? That's too dangerous. Grandpa, how could you open a shop without batting an eye at that kind of danger? By the way, you may be worried about what would happen to the door to the other worlds if the shop were to be demolished. But don't worry. The gate can't even be destroyed in the first place. Il and I have cast a spell on the cafe. It's not perfect, but it turns away anything that would seek to cause harm here. In other words, seems the shop eluded demolition due to this mysterious power. I see. That's astounding. It does seem rather convenient. That's all it does. You may not realize it, but there is magic in effect all over the place. But if that's really the case, this shop could never disappear. Isn't that right? The shop itself, certainly. This place remaining pleasant or not? Well, that's another issue, isn't it? We'd like to stay here at this cafe, where Enchanté's keeper would welcome us non-humans with open arms. A place where you feel welcome. Although, we do honestly realize how selfish it is to feel this way about it all. Silence, once again, drapes over the cafe as those words were uttered. While I was still searching for what to say, Miser suddenly stands up from his seat. Well, whatever the case, we do understand that this is all very sudden. We'll leave you be for a while. All I ask is that you meditate on all of this for a bit. Wait, but where are you going?
我々は各々が
All of us have rented rooms from Lord Soan on Enchanté's upper floors. Considering it's been a while, we'd like to see them.
ということもあるので
You rented rooms?
うん
Indeed.
頻繁にここへ訪れ
We would visit frequently, sometimes staying overnight. We've all been paying to rent those spaces. I see. Come to think of it, Bill did clearly mention he was living in the shop. True that I had yet to see the second floor of Enchanté. I would have never imagined that these non-human guests would be staying up there.
つうかじ
Wait.
じいが死んだなら
The old man's dead now. What happened to our rooms?
根こそぎ片付
They
け
haven't been cleaned out, have they? I'm not sure. I haven't been upstairs yet. I don't know if a housing authority or city officials have come to see the property.
それは困ります。
That's very troubling. Il abruptly stands up.
私の部屋には
I have valuable treasures in my
大事な宝物がある
room.
のです。
Could not stand it if something were
中に
happened.
片付けたなどとこうしてはいられません。
I cannot stand here
ここま
idly.
で無事を確
Must
かめな
check
くては。
at once if everything is okay. With that, Il rushes upstairs in a huff. I think he might have flown a bit even. What in the world?
ほっとけあいつはいつも
Leave him be, that's just how he is.
というかここの結界は
His enchantment keeps away anyone that isn't affiliated with this place as
まあ
is.
心配ないと
There's
は
nothing to worry about.
んじゃ俺も部屋行ってくるわ
I'll go and check my room. Come on, Canis. Room's by mine, after all.
あ
あ
あとはいえ我々は物が少ない
Right. We do not have many belongings to check on. I shall at least tidy up a bit. As they begin to climb the stairs.
それじゃ君は
All right, Wes.
ゆっくり考
You
え
should think this over for a while.
なんな
Why
ら
don't you make yourself a cup of
コーヒ
coffee?
ーでも入れてみたら
Miser, the last one to leave, winked at me as he spoke. After the sound of their footsteps fading away, the space around me was hushed in comparison to how it was moments ago. But then, this would have been what Enchanté would have been right now, if those men hadn't arrived. People from other worlds, not humans, coming here, to this cafe. Huh. First I was wondering if I should even bother trying to run the cafe at all. Now as I sit here by myself, I'm beginning to question the very nature of reality. Ugh. I need to gather my thoughts. Miser was considerate enough to let me have some time alone. Maybe I should go outside and get some air. Look to the horizon. The sun is setting. I take in its light and let out a sigh. Cold begins to grip me as the day ends. I sit on a bench and go over everything that had just happened. Found that door. Met Miser and the others. Anus, Il, and Ignis. They all claim they aren't human, all of this easily erasing whatever knowledge of the world I used to hold. Ugh, ow. It was cliche, but I pinched my cheek just to make sure. That was not a cheek pinching sound. That was like a neck cracking sound. No, it was cliche, but I pinched my cheek just to make sure I could still feel it. I did, so that meant this is all real. Pinch my elbow and my hand. Of course, the result is the same. Sitting there, I take a deep breath, a breath deeper than the deepest ocean. It seemed like every guest Grandpa rented to develop a meaningful friendship with him.
場所だけはね。
Shop itself, certainly. This place remaining pleasant or not, well, that's another
そ
issue,
れはま
isn't
た
it?
別の問題でしょ。俺たちが望んでいる場所はこの店のアンシャンテの
We'd like to stay here at this cafe,
俺たち
where Enchanté's keeper would welcome us non-humans with open arms. Holding this irritable feeling. Ah! Let it groan. It was a sound no one would expect to come from someone like me. What do I do? The sunset. It's so pretty. I can only escape my reality for so long. As if to try and find an answer, I opened the letter from Grandpa once again. To Wes. I was originally just going to leave a message with you over social media. I guess that's not suitable for a will. You want me to write you in a letter. Nice sentiment, but I prefer the keyboard. Fucking hell. Tacky Grandpa. Honestly, he always loved breaking the mold. A bittersweet feeling draws a smile. I bite my lip and read the letter over again. An official will was delivered to my parents. So this is basically just a personal message from grandpa to grandfather to granddaughter. Most of the content was just a random chatter. Questions about me eating properly, making sure I was being nice to my parents. And if I was doing okay at the company where I got my job. Things like that. When Grandpa would come to the house every so often, we had so much fun talking. He was sensitive to how I felt. He never did try to pry too much into my daily life. I guess this letter, it helped him work through it all that concern helped him work through all the concern he must have had for me. I'm sorry, Grandpa. It's difficult to talk out loud. The food supply company where I was hired was infamous for being strict about the work. That became apparent right away once I started my job there. The sales department would go door to door selling health products and supplements that were basically scams. As an office worker, I dealt with all the complaints that came from customers each day and night. They brought me on right out of high school, even though I barely made the cut, so I was forced to endure the labor. After so many days of working there, the ringing of phones would trigger me. I still heard my boss yelling, "You can always do her place. Just do as I say. You've nowhere else to go, do you? No one needs you. Picked you up, so you better be grateful." I was tired, bitter. I just wanted to quit. It was at the time when I got Grandpa's letter, which I'm looking at right now. Things get tough, you can always come back. The shop was an old man's hobby. If it means something more to you too, that's just fine. Your life is in your hands. You choose to live it exactly how you want. I fold the letter and take a deep breath. There's no one here to guide me now. Still, I really hate that there isn't. I know I just want things to be easy. Think of what Grandpa would say, wishing that he were here right now. Huh? I thought they went to check on their rooms. That would be amazing. Like, that would be, what a twist. There's a super secret ending. My face lifts up at the doorbell rings. See Meister standing there. Hmm? Well, I'm the only one who wasn't actually staying over at Enchanté. I wasn't really renting a room either, so I was just kind of wandering around inside the cafe. But I did come to the cafe every day. I did have my Demon King duties to attend to, so I usually left at night. Meister smiles, adding that he'd continue to come if I were to take over the shop. Then he comes to sit on the bench with me. Oh, I didn't expect that. I'm sure it's not as bad as ill, but I did imagine that you'd be living here too. Do I look like that much of a mess? You actually thought I was like him? Ill is a mess? Couldn't really see that at all. More importantly, is it okay for you to look like that out here? Oh, don't worry. Demon Kings have a number of ways to cheat. Fiddling with the consciousness is easy. He stretched calmly, saying that scary fact. Wonder how detached from humanity he really was. I mean, just look at his clothes. His face, the way he talks, the way he laughs. Maybe he doesn't look that different yet. Oh, are you thinking about it? Sorry to interrupt when I was suggesting you do that. Oh, no, it's fine. Actually, in all honesty, it was helpful that he came to chat. Couldn't help but feel like thinking about this on my own would get me down. Hey, it's that letter from Soan. He pointed to the letter I realized I'd forgotten to put away. Oh, yes, it is. I was holding it to my chest out of reflex. Probably because it was taking me through all those memories and emotions just now. Responding ambivalently, he stares at the letter for a moment, then speaks. So, about Soan. Did you know he couldn't eat spicy stuff? He had a hard time with hot peppers. The sudden comment caught me off guard. Huh? I never knew. Grandpa always seemed so sprightly. Right? It wasn't a quirk for show. He had issues with other things too, like cockroaches. Really? Well, I can't deal with cockroaches either. Aizu continued on, speaking kindly of the grandfather I didn't know. Though I'm sure he was a tiny bit of things he wanted. It was a tiny bit of things he wanted to say. I could tell. His memories were very precious to him. Soan. He was pretty good at pouring coffee, despite how much he didn't fuss with the intricate details of things. Yeah. It was only when he poured coffee, though only might be a bit mean, that he was so intentional and serious. Aizu nods in agreement with my comment. Demon kings, knights, fallen angels, and beasts. While we're here, we are just guests. Ordering coffee and eating snacks. You'd always just relax here. That's the sort of shop this is. That's why we love to be at this cafe. That's why we love Enchanté. You're not going to ask me, are you? Take over the cafe? Hmm? Well, yeah, I guess you're right. Hard to put into words. I just thought it wouldn't feel right. I mean, as much as I'd like you to. Laughing a bit to himself, he stood up, looking satisfied somehow. Anyway, I know this is happening so fast. I'm sure it's hard to make a decision. After a nod in response, he pauses for a moment, and speaks again. Wes, are you doing anything tomorrow? I remember what from Soan told me. You work northeast from here, don't you? Are you going to go home already? Tomorrow, I don't have anything planned. As for work... Wes? Oh, right. Yeah, I don't have anything I don't have anything planned. I see. And how about you come back here? To Enchanté? Yes, if you don't mind, of course. If you have the time, I'd like to talk with you some more. Not necessarily about the cafe.
俺は君のことを
Want to know more about you. I'd like you to get to know me a little better too. Ryuzi gave a smile that did not look at all suspicious and was actually friendly. I haven't been asked a question like that in a while, outside of a family context anyway. Put up my garden reflex and probed him. And why would you want to do that?
それはもちろん運命の
Because this
出会い
meeting was
だから
destiny, of course. I'm just kidding. Yeah, yeah. He's a demon king. Being overdressed is in his, it's kind of their MO. Even if it was a joke, he had some guts to mention something as cheesy as destiny. And him saying it with such a carefree smile brought a smile to my face as well. Yes, it's possible that this is destiny, considering it would be impossible for a normal person to meet a demon king.
お
Oh, you finally believe I'm a demon king. Well, I wouldn't get anywhere if I didn't. So you're compromising then, hmm? If you're still suspicious, I can show you the evidence that would change your mind. Evidence? What if I were to, romantically, break the sun into pieces, or remove the stars from the sky without a trace? I could do that much if you were to ask me directly, you know? Don't do that. We need those. Is that romantic? The smile scares me. It's to say that he would actually go through with that. Well, with that in mind, I'll be waiting for you here at the cafe tomorrow. But I'm not the one who should be saying that. I'll think about it. I'll consider whether or not I'll return. Even if I were to start heading back now, I'd be home around midnight. Wondering how dangerous that might be. Maybe it's better that I stay here tonight. But I'm a bit reluctant to stay at Enchante with all of these people I don't know. For now, I'll let Maizu know I'll be leaving to get a hotel for the night. Okay, got it. I'll let everyone else know. Will everything be okay with the lock? Il and Canis will stay behind, so it's okay. You can leave the gates to me, too. Alright then. Wes. See you tomorrow. Right, see you tomorrow. Oh. What's wrong? Oh no, it's nothing really. I haven't said see you tomorrow to anyone in such a long time. It really was nothing. Outside of work, I just didn't seem to live the same way other people did. Maizu didn't make me feel weird, and he replied shyly. Me too. He smiled with an endless kindness. It was then I realized that I was no longer just considering coming by tomorrow. Once I got to the hotel, the promise I made to see Maizu became rather clear. The hotel I was able to find was very nice considering how little it cost. Yeah, so it would seem. I think it's spam bots. I'm not 100% sure. Hard to say. Yeah. After taking a shower and changing, I lie down on the bed in the room. I'm so tired. It's definitely due to mental stress. It's time I get to sleep. Let out a yawn and reach out to the light by the pillow. No matter how many times I think about it, I really just experienced something insane. Though I no longer thought it was a dream. Still feeling a small morsel of excitement toward visiting Enchante tomorrow. Close my eyes and give in to sleep. I hear a voice. Sounds like a child. Someone crying. What the hell is happening? Solitude is lonely. Yes, it is. My mind was blank. I had no idea where I was or what I was or when this was. I've been waiting for you. A person appeared without a sound and stretched out their hand. The trembling fingers sank into my chest. They literally sank in. They plunged in, like a hand submerging into water. Ugh. My heart felt like an alarm going off. My body shook in pain, unable to breathe. I could feel my consciousness slipping. Sure. Don't know what I pressed quick save, but there's nothing more harrowing. There's something more harrowing. Help me. It clung on to me. This unknown plea rang in my head. It was so pitiful, so sad. I tried batting away the hand, but I just couldn't, no matter how hard I tried. Ugh. Woke up to the sound of my heavy heartbeat. It took me a moment to realize the space around me was just a hotel that I had booked for the evening. I don't remember everything very well, but that definitely felt like a nightmare. In an attempt to dig up the memories from it, I grabbed the sides of my head. Just then, the alarm goes off. I look at the time on the clock. It's already this late? I have to hurry or I'll miss checkout. I fling myself up from the bed and start to get ready for the day. I rush through checking out of my room and leave the hotel quickly. My feet were moving on their own, making their way towards Enchante. Though I inadvertently made my syrup promise. I actually began to feel a little excitement to go back there again. I didn't have a solid conversation with each guest yesterday. I need to do that today. Conversations about things that don't necessarily have to do with Enchante. I was hoping for a fresh start today, especially after my terrible dream. I was walking along when all of a sudden... I heard a clack. It was from a little up ahead. Something appeared. Bounced once, twice, then was rolling towards me from the street. Curious about what it was, I bent down to the ground. I bent down to pick it up off the ground. Pen? Didn't seem like a regular pen from a department store. Beneath the navy surface of it were a set of initials engraved in brilliant gold. Must have been custom made.
Ah, ごめんね、お嬢さん。それ僕のなんだ。
Oh,
拾ってくれてあ
my
りがとう。
apologies, young lady. But that belongs to me. Thank you for picking it up. I looked towards the person whose initials must have been the ones found on the pen.
こっちこっち。
Over here.
鍵刺したまま
Sorry, the car's already running.
よかっ
Would
た
you mind bringing it over?
持ってきてくれるかい
Huh? Oh, sure. Man was wearing a casual suit as he looked in my direction. Man's a smooth operator, knows how to pick up chicks. I walked towards him, brushing some of the dirt that had gotten onto the pen. I handed it over as he gives me a smile.
いや、ありがとう。
Ah, thank
メモ
you.
を取った表紙に
I was writing a note and it slipped. I'm just glad it didn't roll into the sewer.
よかったよ。
No problem. It's a beautiful pen. I hope it didn't get scuffed. I was about to say goodbye when...
まあ、それとお嬢さん。ついでに
Miss,
君個人に
can I ask you a personal question?
一つ質問してもいい
What is it? I'm not from around here, so I don't know the streets very well.
あ、いや、
Oh, I'm not asking for directions, just, well,
言ったでしょ
I said it already, didn't
君
I?
個人に
I want to ask you something personal. What?
けどそうか
But, right, I feel bad if you're just standing there.
近く
Can we
の
go to a cafe?
かな
Maybe one nearby?
さっきペンを拾ってもらった俺
I'd be happy to treat you to something. Consider it as thanks for returning my pen. What do you do? Is this about to be one of those instances of coercion that I'm always hearing about? Do we have to choose between real boys and fantasy boys? Fuck fantasy boys, what are you talking about? That's not a choice. It's... I need to find a way to get out of this. I'm sorry, I appreciate the offer, but I have a few things I need to take care of.
おやそれは残念
Oh, that's unfortunate. What things, if you don't mind my asking?
あの魔王や打天使がいる喫茶アンシャンテに
They have to do with Cafe Enchanté, where the Demon King and the Fallen Angel hang. Now he had my attention. How do you know that? Ah, why am I so dumb? Was this person like Meiser and the others?
正直なリアクションが
Thank you for an honest reaction.
ごめんね
Sorry, I didn't mean to startle you.
つもりはなかった僕は別に怪しい
I'm not anyone to be suspicious of, okay? Wes?
一応僕もね
Just so you know,
君の
I was an acquaintance of your
知り合いだったん
grandfather's.
だ
Another regular at Enchanté.
アンシャンテの常連の一人
You knew my grandpa?
そう
Yes, oh, sorry.
今
Let me introduce myself. Kaoru Rindo.
僕はリンドを薫言っておくけど
My name is Kaoru Rindo. And as you know, I'm just an and so you know, I'm just an ordinary human, okay? Man, you could not have, like, introduced yourself in a shadier way. Like, really. Everything about you is telling you to fuck off. Like, there's nothing redeeming right now. Mr. Rindo. Regular at Enchanté. Let down my guard after he mentioned he was human. Only a little bit. How do you even know my name? Ignis and the others didn't know who I was before hearing me say my name. I'm sure he could tell how guarded I was when he looked into my eyes. Not seeming to care much about that, Rindo continued speaking rather casually.
君のことは噂に聞いたよソアンさんの件も含めてね
Heard rumors about you. And about Solon. That's a gun! That's a gun! He's got a gun! That's a gun!
君アンシャンテを継ぐつも
Did you come here to take over Enchanté? Well, no, I hadn't decided on that yet.
まだね
Yet, huh?
けどその感じだと
Though, just by looking at you,
若干
I can tell you've already been influenced. This is beginning to be annoying.
厄介だな
Annoying?
Huh?
Oh,
あ
talking about those non-humans at Enchanté.
ああそこにいる人外連中のことさポットでのおじさんの忠告だし怪しむのも仕方ないとは思うけど
Well, in my defense, like, that's pretty subtle in that pose. Especially with the text boxes over it. But now I can't not look at it now. He's just got a gun. I know I'm a stranger, and you probably find me suspicious, but let me warn you.
やめておいた方がいいよ
Don't take over that place, okay? And why is that?
至極簡単なお
The reason
話
is very simple.
あそこにいる
Those non-humans are the very essence of danger.
極まりないからさ
Dude, you have a gun! Rindo spoke without any ill will, but also without a fragment of restraint.
彼らは約1名
One of them aside, they all appear to be normal at first glance. You can hold conversations just fine, but
それも結局は上
in the end, it's all for show.
根本的に人間と
They're entirely different from human beings.
まさに
They're freaks in human clothing, beyond the reaches of what's considered normal. Monsters, creatures, evil spirits.
クリーチャー地味猛量だから
I'd be worried to send a sweet girl like you to a place where such creatures gather. But man, you're a lot less pleasant than those other guys. I began to feel a little angry at the things this man was saying. I know I don't know everything about them. They were guests of my grandfather's, and I know they were people he truly valued. Wish this man would say something, wouldn't say anything so bold as to contest that fact. Excuse me. I began to protest, but I was interrupted.
おっと
Oh,
部下
getting a call from my subordinate. Sorry to keep you for so long.
話をしてごめん
I'll have to get back to work
僕
now.
も仕事に戻るよそれじゃあね
Goodbye then, Wes.
君があそこに
If you do decide to stay there, I suppose we might meet again soon, hmm? Monopolizing the conversation once again, he then disappears. I didn't get to reply. He didn't seem to think highly of Enchante, considering he was a regular there. Right. We best to talk this through with Meiser and the others. I decided to cut my rumination there and hurry along the road to Enchante. That's not a pinching sound. Before I enter, I pinch my cheek again, just to make sure. Kaoru Rindo, and the confrontation just now, too. I decided to accept yesterday as reality. Still, I was nervous about going inside. Walk to the door and grab the doorknob. Hello? Not knowing if I needed to, let the cafe know I'm here by taking a step inside. Huh? Thought for a moment that I stepped into a completely different shop. Look around in a panic, but the door did look like the same one I saw yesterday. What has happened? What? However, what I saw was not what you'd call a regular shop at all. What was laid out before me appeared to be an entire world. A gentle light poured through the heavens. Beautiful plants I'd never seen before embraced the light, stretching their leaves to the sky. The scene before me could only be described as an illusion, not at all part of reality. The only things that I could consider normal here were a few dishes on the large table. As I stood confused, the person who walked up to me, unfazed by everything around me, was... Oh, Meiser.
やあ、いらっしゃい。よ、
Hey, welcome. Or, in your case, I suppose it should be saying,
が正しい
welcome back?
まあ、
Well, it doesn't matter.
いいか
I'm glad to see you again,
ま
Wes.
た会えて嬉しいよ。
Oh, it's nice to see you too. But more importantly, what is all of this?
ああ、これ
Oh, this.
俺と
Il and I went
気合を入れて用意
all out
し
to
た
prepare this.
特別
Very special place for a tea party. Nice, hmm?
君の歓迎会でも開こうかな。
Wanted to have a welcoming party for you. It might be a goodbye party depending on what you decide, but that would be okay too.
それはそれで OK かな。
Oh, I see. Thank you for preparing all of... Wait, no, you haven't explained a thing. What is this place?
一種の幻
Oh,
とでも
you can think of it as an illusion. There's no need to worry, you haven't been sent to another world or anything like that.
私たちは今も間違
You are definitely still inside
店
Enchante.
内にいますよ
Hill appears explaining things... Oh, sure, quick save. Ah! I keep adjusting myself, and I've got my Pro Controller that I keep bumping. I stare up to the end of the sky. Huh. That's something you can do too. Tried touching a few leaves of grass, and they felt real. I felt myself smile for some reason. My curiosity began to win over my surprise at this surrealistic scene.
どうしました
Is something the matter?
気になることでも
Is something bothering you? Huh? Oh, no, I'm fine, it's nothing. By the way, where are the other two? I changed the subject to talk about the others.
あ
Ah,
この二人なら
those two have been over
テー
there.
ブルの方にい
They've
る
been at the table for a while. Head over to the table, led by Mizir. Meiser. There I find...
おお来てくれたか
Ah,
また再会
you've
でき
come.
て何よ
I'm
り
pleased to see you again. Friendly Canis seemingly irritated Ignis. Come to greet me. Ignis is looking in every direction but mine, so I'm not sure how much of a greeting it is. Looked upset. I didn't think I could But I didn't think I could be the issue, especially considering I was so new to the cafe. Ignis? Did something happen?
ああまあ
Oh, well, yes, I guess.
君が
We just had an annoying customer come by a little before you arrived.
あんまりにもうぜえから
They're so annoying. I just beat them up and ran them out of the shop. Wait, you beat them up? A customer? For a business in the service industry to do something like this could be fatal. Hmm.
なんと説明する
How should we explain this?
大丈夫です。
It's quite alright, Wes.
客はお客
Although they were guests of the shop, it was perfectly permissible to beat them up.
ですから
Does such a guest even exist?
まあまあその
Well,
辺は
let's
一
just
旦
forget about that for now. Please have a
まず
seat,
は
my
お席
princess.
にどうぞお姫様
Huh? Oh, thank you. Hesitantly, I sit on the chair Miser brought. A cup of aromatic tea is set before me.
じゃあ改めて
So, here we are
今日は来てくれ
again.
てありがとう
Thank you for coming today, Wes. He grins, and I feel myself getting tense. I'd like to thank you as well for inviting me. Hell, I didn't think you'd show up, considering how suspicious of us you were. I mean, rightfully so. I apologize about that. I cleared up some things with Miser after meeting everyone. For now, at least, I've come to believe everything about all of you. I noticed Ignis looking away in a pout. I hadn't gone to speak with anyone individually aside from Miser. Understandable, the others might not like it that too much. I lower my head towards them. Also, I apologize about yesterday. Left before finishing our conversation.
気にしないでいい
There's no need to worry.
話の途中
In
で
fact, we were the ones who had decided to leave prematurely.
それに実際こうしてあなたがまた
Besides,
来てく
you
れ
did come back to visit.
それだけで十分
That
だと
alone
思い
is
ま
more
す
than enough for us. Miser laughed nervously at Ignis's demeanor, before he began to speak.
とりあえずさアンシャンテのことは
Anyway, aside from the talk about Enchanté, I'm always happy to chat with you.
大したお構いもできないけど
I'm sorry we can't provide much
まあ少しでも
hospitality,
君にとって
but I hope this could be very nice. This could be nice for you. But nothing in particular was leading it. The tea party began calmly. Though for a tea party, aside from the snacks, there were mostly heavy dishes on the table. Wow. Did you all make all of this?
いや全然
No, no, not really. It's all from a convenience store nearby. Ah, yes, that would explain it. Huh?
自分たちで料理を作るなんて
It's just been so long since any of us has cooked. We were afraid we'd set the place on fire.
万が一だけど
That would be the last thing we'd need now.
そんなわけでして
So Ignis and Katniss went shopping for us at a convenience
コ
store.
ンビニ
The convenience store. By convenience store, you mean a normal, actual convenience store, right?
他に何があるっつうんだよ
What else could he mean? Well, Ignis would have been fine, but you went too, Canis? Indeed.
結構な量にな
There
り
was
そう
much to carry. Did it go okay?
重量に関しては全く問
Weight was not an issue.
題
Could have carried it all with one hand.
か
That's not what I'm worried about.
お前の予想通り
He gets noticed if that's what you mean. Of course. I had a bad feeling. I started looking at the social media, knowing how it's so ingrained into occurrences like these in today's world. Helmet store, suspicious person, were all things I typed into the search bars. Ah, well, it hasn't been anything posted about anything, thank goodness.
大丈夫
Don't worry.
大丈夫
We always take
このあたり
appropriate
のフォロー
measures.
も当然してあるよ時代ごとに適応
Outsiders like
してい
us
かないと
could be in trouble if we don't keep in touch with the times. My power as Demon King comes in handy.
魔王様のチートパワーで
Power as the Demon King, huh?
そう
Right.
まあ細かく言うと
Also, a bit of fallen angel power to that.
の力も
And you get the most powerful combination you could have worked
もう
together.
最強だ
Miser nodded with confidence. Because their powers really are that great if they're even able to manipulate social media. Now that I think about it, I'd really only spoken with Miser. I had no idea. What sort of people were the others were? What kind of things they were capable of? Curious about what their relationship with Grandpa was like. The time to chat? Oh yeah, it is. Canis?
なんだろうか。
What is it? I'm not sure if it was his body or a helmet that made his presence so suffocating. Canis, you mentioned that you were a knight. What exactly does that entail?
Oh.
Well. Canis was halfway through eating a cookie. He was halfway through a cookie he was eating and brings it to his helmet. Then it just disappears. Wait, what? What just happened? Was that some kind of magic? Maybe it was more of Miser's strange powers. I was completely fixated on what had just happened on his hand.
というのが我の正体なの。
And so, that just about explains it all. I do hope that makes enough sense. Huh? Oh. Canis' explanation about himself went in one ear and out the other. Excellent. Perfect. He sounded so accomplished at the end there. I can't bring myself to ask him again. Yes. I just told him that it made sense. Even still, I just actually eat while he has his helmet on. Felt like I learned who he was. Kind of. You have learned nothing about anything. What's up, Il? Il?
なんでしょう。
What is it? You mentioned you were a fallen angel, but how did you end up coming here to Enchanté and meeting Grandpa?
そうですね。
Let me think.
なんと説明
How should I explain it?
私の場合、
In my case, I was saved by him. That may be the easiest explanation. Saved by him? I'd ask for more details.
ああ、アイル。そこの焼き鳥とか貸してごらん。君、肉類は好き
Hey,
じゃ
Il,
ないでしょ。
pass me the chicken. You don't really like meat, right?
ほら、
Here, I'll trade you some of my cake.
と交換してあげ
おや、そ
Oh, you are quite right. I do prefer sweets to meat. Thank you much, Miser. Hold on, Il. That coffee.
ビール
Did you take the wrong cup?
コーヒー
Don't overdo it. Here, have this juice.
コーヒーも飲めなくは
Well, it's not as if I can't drink coffee.
確かにジュースの方が
I suppose I do prefer juice, though. On top of that, his plates and utensils were cleared, and his food was served to him. Miser and Canis were quickly watching Il. Il simply smiled, accepting their efforts. What is this feeling? This aura his entire body radiates. Makes you feel like he can't just be left alone. Almost like a baby bird. Can't help but want to care for him. I don't know about that. Are you seriously not embarrassed by this? To be like this in front of a girl that you only just met?
初対面では
This is not the first time we have met.
会うのはこれで
This is actually the second.
んなことは分かってるっつ
I know that already. It's the same thing, you moron. Try to eat by yourself at least. Ugh. Il? Would you like some of my strawberry cake?
お前も餌付けするな
Don't you start throwing it on him too. Huh? Oh, no. My body just moved on its own? I like I learned who he was. Kind of? Maybe someone else would give me more about themselves. Ignis? What's it to you? You have quite the appetite, don't you? He had huge portions of food in front of him. He was clearly eating more than the others. Reminded me of people in high school, like on the soccer or baseball team, who would pile on food like this in the cafeteria.
悪いか
So what? Can't eat? No, that's not what I'm trying to say at all. I get that he eats a lot. This is how he reacts to small talk. He probably can't have a real conversation. I'm not sure I can talk to any of them. That's just how things usually go. Are humans any better at conversation? Is it really all that was? Maybe there are just different values at play here than among humans. Well, I'm not sure about that. Values differ from person to person, sure. Non-humans aren't that much different when compared to humanity as a whole. Huh?
とある人物の言葉を
If I am to borrow the words of another,
古くは神話
the legends of old, the demons and spirits of the world depicted in fairy tales become the legend of the land.
全てとは言いませんが
I cannot say that this is always the case, but earthly phenomena dealing with ghosts or deities likely has to do with non-humans.
天使
Angels, demons, ill and miser are a perfect example of those.
代表的だろうな
Oh, but does that mean the presence of you all spills from your world out into this one?
あくまで可能性の話
Merely a possibility. No evidence to it, after all.
ってわけでね
So that's that. Humans and non-humans have coexisted in fairly close proximity since the old
結構
times.
近い場所にいるんだよ
I see. Thinking of it, all the images of ghosts and creatures I've seen over the years. Putting aside if they're real or not, people recognize them at least a little considering how often they show up on TV. Misa might actually be right. Non-humans might be closer to us than we think. I suppose it's a different thing entirely to actually run into those sorts of things in person.
聞きてえことはそんだけか
Is that all you wanted to talk about? Oh, no, there's one more thing. I want to hear all your relationships with Grandpa one more time.
な
Huh?
前にも説
Told you
明した
before. Regularly see her and...
いや
No, Ignis. It's not what she's
おそらく
asking.
彼女が尋ねたいおそらくは
I suspect
ソーアン殿と我々の関係
the relationship between us and Suan.
わからないんだろう
He desires to know how deep they went. Yes. Right. Really wanted to take my time and speak with with everyone individually. To ask again in greater detail what they thought about my grandpa. Mize and the others look at each other and nod. They all begin speaking in turn.
俺たちはそれぞれ立場も
We're all different in our standings here, and it's difficult to explain things in detail.
難しいんだけどでも
However, as we've said before, we all feel that Soan and this place are one of a kind.
そうだ
Indeed.
我々の良
He
き
understood us well. We all found his friendship was invaluable.
ソーアンがいなければ
Yes, without Soan, I'm positive that none of us would even be here.
あのじじいのことだから
It's the old man we're talking about here.
あと100
thought
年
he'd-
生きるかと思ってたぜ
He'd have been here another century. Both of them glanced at the same empty seat, just hoping to catch a glimpse of the shadow of their old friend. We began to understand why they were so fond of my grandfather and his cafe. One of a kind. Invaluable. Of course, they'd want to protect this place. The place that these people needed. Once who thought so fondly of you. Thank you. That's all I needed to hear. That's what they thought of him. I felt so proud knowing this person they admired was my own grandfather. I heard the dull thud of the anxiety I held in my heart towards these men falling out of my body onto the ground. The air filled with a solemn pause, the party continued.
あ
Huh?
なんだ
The
もう
hell?
飲み物がねえ
Ran out of drinks. Ignis tossed the empty bottle, once filled with a carbonated beverage, glancing about the room with an upset look on his face. Looked around as well, but it seemed we were out of all the other drinks too.
あれ
Huh?
コーヒーも
Coffee's all gone too. I guess we really didn't have enough, huh? Oh, well, let me go get some more.
いや
No,
この場で
you're
は
our guests. Please relax. I shall go and. No, that's exactly why I should go. You've all been treating me so nicely. I wouldn't feel right if I didn't return the favor somehow. Did you find something about our reception not to your liking?
不満がありました
そうじゃね
That's not it. In any case,
とにかく
if she says she'll go, I say we let
そ
her.
の方がそいつも気兼ねし
I
ねえ
think
だろ
it'd make her happy to do it anyway.
そ
Hmm,
れもそっか
I suppose you're right.
それじ
Okay,
ゃあ
Wes.
お願いして
If
も
it's alright, could you get more drinks? Yes, it would be my pleasure. I asked everyone what they'd like to drink, and I head outside. With just one step, the scenery around me suddenly reverted to what it was everyday reality. I know I've experienced it before, but that really is so amazing. I look back. My gaze fixes itself on the ordinary-looking cafe entrance. Grandpa's Cafe. I think this was a place non-humans visited. This cafe holds such an amazing secret. More than that, it's always been such a special, beloved place for those guests in particular. I'm sure I'll... Oh. First I have to do some shopping. I was certain I'd have enough time to ponder these feelings inside after I did that. I focused myself on the present moment and tried to remember the directions to the nearby convenience store when I noticed several cars, all painted black, parked in front of Enchanté. I don't think parking is allowed there. I had a bad feeling about this, but before I could get past the cars, a person got out of the car closest to me. It was a man whose fitted suit gave off the sense that he had no time to mess around. That suit. Have I seen it somewhere before today?
失礼。
Excuse me. You're Wes, correct? Yes, and who are you?
私はこういうものです。
Allow me to introduce myself. Hands me a business card. Nervously I take it and read what it says. Government Paranormalism Measures? Never even heard of this company?
ガバメントパラノーマリズムメジャース。
GMP agent,
超常事象対策
otherwise known as the GMP.
通称
We're a governing agency that dealt with
名前の通り、科学で
phenomena outside the realm of science.
対象を任された。その主な対象は
Our main areas of interest are strange powers and supernatural abilities, and also
人間界に悪影響
non-humans who can harm the human world.
人外になります。
Supernatural phenomena? Non-humans? After the surprise, it took me a moment to realize why they're talking about me, why they're talking to me about it. It was about Miser and the others. People knew me by name. Government agency getting involved is a lot for me to take in.
では、まずこちらを。
Now then, please take this. Unconcerned with the flushed look on my face, the GPM agent took out an envelope and shoved it towards me. What's this?
公共事業用資産の買い取りに関する申し出書。
It's from the Office of Public Affairs, a purchase offer with all the documentation. What?
現在、この
Parents were recently made owners of this building and all the land it stands on.
なのでまず連絡を取って
I'll contact them and explain what's going on without mentioning the non-humans.
なお今年度は譲渡所得
Considering this year's capital gains, a special subsidy can be offered to them.
詳しくは
For more details... Wait a moment!
何か疑問点で
What's the problem? It's that I don't know what's going on. Why are we talking about a purchase offer? What makes you think you can just talk?
勘違いしているようですが
We have a misunderstanding. Let me assure you, you have no say in this matter. A cold glance pierced through me. The lack of care in his words intimidated me. I felt a shiver run down my spine.
課長も人が悪い
That section chief
接触して
came in contact with you but didn't explain a damn thing.
では
So, allow me. I'll be the one to tell you that any lie you attempt to fabricate here will be pointless.
思わないでくださいあなたと
You're already aware that you are in contact with non-humans at this location.
もちろん
Of course, we know that you're in the middle of deciding whether or not to take the
そ
cafe.
の判断をしている最中だという我々がこの店に
Our concern with this cafe lie not only with the non-humans who live here, but with the gate inside the cafe as well.
ゲートにも向い異世界へつながる
A gate that connects other worlds to our own is far more perilous than you can imagine.
はるかに危険
I'm already aware of that. I know there are dangerous beings out there that could possibly come through the gate.
いいえ
No,
そんなに単純
it
な
really
話
isn't
では
that
あり
simple.
ません
Completely disregarding my words, the official began to challenge me.
この世界とは異なる
This world coming in contact with others, worlds with different laws of nature and types of life forms. It's a complex situation.
例えるなら大航海
It's
時
a
代
problem. Consider the consequences when explorers discover new continents. He continues to rattle on monotonously, as if reading something from a manual. Indeed. The existence of alternate worlds and their non-human inhabitants wasn't inherently bad. However, a mountain of warriors could form if they were to come into contact with them. For example, if bacteria native to these worlds came to our own, it potentially cause diseases uncurable by modern science. We could be on the cusp of an awful pandemic. So, feels pretty dangerous thinking about the very possibility of that, doesn't it? Though, what we're most interested in are the natural resources that might be in these worlds. Ah, I knew it! Unknown materials, unknown resources. Ah. Imagine if there was a world that had gold or silver lying around as common as rocks. Trade with that world could throw the global economy here into chaos. There's war to consider too, rising tensions between countries hoarding resources and those that desire them. After the GPM agent finishes talking about those terrifying cases, he glares at me. A door that leads to other worlds, too much to handle for one individual. So, you want me to just tell my parents to hand over everything to you and just walk away? Yes, I'm glad you understand. This is for your own safety as well. Can I ask you just one question? Go ahead. If everything's handed over through the GPM, what will happen to the cafe? The higher-ups would discuss the details, but everything would be under supervision. The gate's impossible to destroy or move, so the cafe would be demolished and a facility would be built around it. I see. I'm very glad this all makes sense to you. Now if you review the documents and... I wave away the papers he tries to give me. And a stunned look slowly appears on his face, as I quietly told him the following. Given the information, I refuse. I'd like you to leave the premises now. What? What's the meaning of this? Don't you understand how dangerous that gate is, given everything I've just told you? His face twists in anger, and the GPM agent begins to raise his hand towards me. In the very next moment, halt. Ah, my knight in shining armor. Hello, Canis. Out of nowhere, another arm appeared just in time to grab the agent's hand. Canis! I did not expect you to return to talk, especially after what Ignis did to you. Who are you? Well, if you must ask, we are the ones you enjoy referring to as the dangerous non-humans. Huh? Different from the other ones. Wait, even though you're with the GPM, you don't know who we are? You a newbie or something? Well, that doesn't really matter. They're all just nuisances to us either way. Following Canis and the other three step forward to protect me. The agent brushed off Canis' hand, timid at the arrival of the group. You've made a number of statements just now, but in essence, all you desire is to have control of the gate within Enchante. What? Don't worry, you little underling. Most of what you're saying is true. You understand the dangers of the gate too. That said, aren't you making this chat a bit too convenient for your case? Look at the agent. A fearful expression was now scrawled upon his face. Everyone here has already informed me. Non-humans have lived in the shadows of society for a very long time now. That means gates like this have been around for quite a while too, right? Well... Bill answered my question for the stuttering agent. It is true that the gate is dangerous. However, since the old times, it's true that others like it exist in the world. To imply the destruction of the world will begin with this particular gate. That's a bit misleading, wouldn't you think? Furthermore, if it were indeed that effect, the human world would have already been destroyed. Would you not think so? After being berated by questions, the agent straightens his posture and speaks once more. Perhaps it was a bit misleading. Whoever reviewing the matter is the same. Gates and non-humans are the responsibility of the government, not an individual. I'd like a peaceful resolution to this. What's wrong with handing the cafe to us? You and your peaceful resolution has to involve bullying a helpless girl, right? Or better yet, blocking off the area with armed guards to coerce her. Is that what peaceful looks like to you? What? You really noticed? Well, you know, Ignis did fight some of them. You had to know this would happen, right? Oh, I guess he fought before. We're just people from the GPM. Then? The agent lets out a childish grunt as Ignis stares him down. If that's the case. I've hit the wrong button again. Look at them all! They're all identical! Several men in GPM uniforms came rushing in from the surrounding roads all at once. There's quite a few of them. Ha! Should come by from the get-go. This could have been taken care of already. They're eager, but they're not coordinated. He's likely not in charge this time. He? Another regular at Enchante. A human who works for the GPM. Huh? Could it be... I'd completely forgotten to ask about him. But I thought it might be... Huh. Just because you got your non-human buddies together doesn't change a thing. It just turned a blind eye to a gate that isn't under our control. Therefore... He's got a gun! We'll take the cafe by force. The signal. The other agents ready their raw, intimidating metal objects. Weapons normally banned within Japan. Guns? I don't know much about guns, but I could guess they weren't just for show. They were real weapons meant to kill people. Power of life and death in their hands. I felt sweat pour over my entire body as they pointed their weapons at me. Wes, it will be alright. How do you mean? Don't you see the guns? They have guns! It'll be fine. These agents are trained to deal with non-humans. Those guns aren't ordinary ones. Oh, are they like tranquilizers? No, their barrels are larger and they're designed to pierce through things since non-humans are usually tougher than humans. If that's true, how can you tell me that it's gonna be fine? Don't worry, Wes. If you don't want to be a hit, avoid them. But if you get hit, it is of no consequence. What? I'm sorry, I have no idea what you mean. No normal person can just do that. If you don't want to... Hold on, what the fuck did you just say to me, Canis? If you do not want to be hit, avoid them. But if you do get hit, it doesn't matter. If you don't want to be hit by a bullet, get out of the way. If you do get hit, oh well. I mean, why are they all so carefree at the fact that we're completely surrounded by loaded guns? Act as tough as you want. Sure, you non-humans are as tough as they come. What would happen if a stray bullet hit someone who wasn't a non-human? You can imagine, can't you? Oh dear. Aren't you all government workers? Would you really harm one of your citizens? You put way too much faith in the government. We can do anything that we want with you. It's your final warning. Or you just stop resisting and... Ha! Resisting? You mean like this? It's hot. It's hot! All of a sudden, the firearms held by the GPM agents were glowing red. You could hear their hands beginning to sizzle and the guns dropped to the floor. If their hands are sizzling, you fuck them up! Jesus Christ, Ignis. Ignis watches, shrugging as a wry smile spread across his face. Oh, guess we're lucky no rounds went off. Tricky heat up stuff precisely, you know? Inform. It's from Bestia, the Beast World. Yep, you know about Bestia, and I'm sure you know about how things work there, eh? Strong live, the weak die. So basically... if you're stepping up to me like this, then you must be ready to die. As Ignis howls, wild flames begin to envelop his entire body. It looks the same as from when I first met him. He cheerfully jumps into the crowd of guns pointed directly at him. Come on! Hope you're ready to struggle, punks! I'll give you a punch if you can shoot me. Jumping into the swarm of agents, he grabbed, punched, kicked, and trampled over every enemy. Wow, the place just flying all over the place. Really ought to be cause for concern. What did he mean when he said he would give them a punch? I'm not certain myself. Considering it came from Ignis, I'm doubtful it had any significant meaning. Damn it, what is this guy? Never faced a not-human like this. This guy's a monster! Leaving Ignis to rampage, the other agents aim their guns at us, pulling the trigger. He's got a sword! All their bullets fell to the ground. With this giant sword, Ignis pulled out of thin air. You all require more training. Agents of the GPM. It would be wise to stop right there. I cannot guarantee that Canis won't hold back against you. That's a fair assessment, yeah. Besides Ill, who stood there peacefully, like magic with a single finger. Miser stops a bullet coming from another direction and allows it to fall to the ground. All I could do was just stand there, dumbfounded as the whirlpool of supernatural phenomena swirled around the space right in front of me. What now? It's a good thrashing you desire. I can help you achieve such a thing. That is, if you feel these men are worthy enough warriors to engage me in battle today. I'm the Black Knight of Medio, the fairy world. I'm Canis of Sparta. How at you! As Canis stood there, intimidating the line of agents before him, an agent Ignis flung into the air came flying towards Canis, crashing down upon him. All the weight, Canis' helmet, no, his entire head came off. Oh, there it is. It's on the ground. Oh, he's dead now. Goodbye, Canis. The commotion around us vanished. In that moment, everyone there, friend or foe, stood in silence as they stared at his head, rolling across the ground. Ignis, please do be more aware of your surroundings. That's a very reasonable reaction. A shock in the form of a shout rose up from us as Canis lifts himself up and straightens his collar, which was devoid of anything. You should watch where you're going, Canis. Straight in, he's a headless knight, sometimes called a Dullahan. Suppose you have a point. Anyway, forces of the GPM. If you do not fear my sword, then come at me. I think they fear a lot more than just your sword there. So the worldly battle continues. This got far more exciting than I thought it would going to. I was bewildered by everything going on around me, as Miser placed his hand on my shoulder. See? Wes, this is your first time seeing Canis like that. You'll get used to it. Will I, though? I suddenly noticed that out of the many GPM agents that arrived here, half of them were lying on the ground. It didn't seem like any of them had sustained any serious injuries. Still, it was a disaster zone. Now then, why don't you just give up already? Don't you realize by now that any attempt on us or on Shantae is a dangerous idea? By the way, the fallen angel loafing here would do nothing. The fallen angel loafing here doing nothing could take all of you on easily. I wouldn't recommend going for him either.
乱暴なのは好みませんが
I do not like
あな
violence,
た方が
but
帰ってくれないのには実力行使もやむを得ませんね。
if you do not leave, I will have no other choice than to use force. Gil tilts his head, signaling his reluctance. I couldn't quite imagine him being just as strong as Ignis or any of the others, though.
伊達下
The fallen angel? No way. Can't leave a non-human like that here. Now that we know what he is, he's more dangerous than any non-human. There's no way we can leave you all under the control of this helpless girl.
貴様らの管理
I think you must understand. I deny a statement in reflex. Many of the agents were already wounded. My voice could easily be heard now that the scene around me was nearing its end. I took one deep breath. I wanted to be sure they could hear my words. I will not be able to control them. In fact, I have no desire to do so.
ならば
In that case, please! More importantly, control is the last thing I would ever want here in the first place. The eyes and attention of everyone there in this brief moment was all directed towards me. Miser and the others, with the GPM agents, paid close attention to me as I spoke. I began to vocalize the conclusion that I already come up with in my mind. It had to come from my own mouth, otherwise it would have no meaning at all. I spoke with Miser and the others, and I've come to an understand them a little better. Although they're considered non-humans, there's more we have in common than not. As we said, we all believe that Soan and this place is all one of a kind. Indeed, he understood us well. We all found his friendship was invaluable. Yes, without Soan, I'm positive none of us would have even be here. Talking about that old man, thought he'd have been here another century. They know what it is to feel things deeply, and they feel the need to protect this place where their friendship has been forged. They are really capable of that. To let this disappear without allowing them an opportunity at all, that's not something I'm interested in. Bus. Also, there are dangers that must be reviewed. It does not have to be right here and now. What could you do to figure that out? Not going to run a cafe for these conniving non-humans, are you? Why are they so racist? Yes, I am. I'll be taking over the cafe. What? Now that I've made my decision, I'll be treating these people as my guests, just like the last owner, my grandfather. Miser, hearing my declaration beside me. Yeah, you really are cut from the same cloth. His smile was right from his heart. On the other hand, the GPM agents was starting to tremble in fear. This is absurd. You call these monsters with freakish powers guests of this cafe? I suppose it sounds absurd, but it's just as absurd as absurd that we fell in love with a crazy place like Cafe Enchanté. I'm sure the GPM chief believes the most sensible move would be for your organization to handle this, as opposed to one person. However, you must consider one thing. Ourselves and that gate. We are too much for you all to handle. Your decision is hardly worth challenging. Ugh, why you... Don't get ahead of yourself, little girl. With our power, you and your family's reputation can be... Can be what? What do you intend to do? Should I consider your following words a declaration of war against the Demon King who has accepted the words of this girl? Miser takes one step forward. One action filled an intimidating aura. The air around me suddenly became thin. I could feel the entire world begin to cower before him. The ground, in fact, began to tremble. I could feel a light shaking beneath me. As pushed back by the aura's pressure, an agent falls back toward the ground. It would be wise to nip this in the bud. But what should we do now, Miser delivers an icy glare at the agent. However, the sound of a roaring engine killed the atmosphere hanging above us all. Oh, that car! A sports car appeared, moving towards us in a flash. Its beautiful chassis wedged itself between Miser and the agent. The man who exited the vehicle while scratching his head was none other than... Oh man, I tried to stop them too. This morning, it was the man who stopped me. It was Kawa Rindo. Hey Miser, sorry about my people here. Looks like they got a little greedy today. Really did try to talk them out of this. Miser dissolved his tense aura and relaxes his shoulders as Mr. Rindo talks to him calmly. I thought as much, but it's you we're talking about. I can bet you provoked them. I can hear you encouraging them in my head. Come on, what are you even talking about? Hey, Rindo, if you want, I'll make your death quick. Then I'll bring it back and kill you again. You're a mature man. Do not toy with us. Yeah, alright, sorry. You're all a bit much. Give me some room. Mr. Rindo. Oh, hi Wes. Wow. I saw you earlier. Still remember me, huh? Yes, you're quite memorable. Yeah, dude just carrying around a gun in Japan. Quite memorable, yeah. Finally remembered. Suit that these GPM agents were wearing. Thought I'd seen them somewhere, and now I realized they were very similar to his. Which I just seen earlier this morning. They're just suits. Just like... So that must mean he's the last guest at Enchante who's with the GPM, right? Yes, that would be him. I introduced myself to you once, but I suppose I didn't tell you where I worked. I'm Kawa Rindo, Chief Intelligence Officer of Government Paranormalism Measures. My job is to protect sweet girls like you from the big scary non-humans. Pleased to meet you. I see. I was given 2 business cards from the government agencies within the same day. Likely due to Mr. Rindo's arrival calming the tension around us, I couldn't seem to find anything else to say to him in the moment. Do you know him, Wes? Well, in a way. This morning he hit on me? Well, I'm sure now that it was just a random chatter to try and figure me out. Well, maybe you'd like to see a Demon King turn this man into a pile of dust, eh? What? Hold it, bud. Side note, we know you wouldn't leave a trace behind, so don't go making dusty promises. Oh, Demon King wouldn't leave any dust of him behind. Gotcha. Just to avoid the conversation with Miser, Mr. Rindo walks to the agents wounded on the ground. You happy? Look at you. Did you learn your lesson yet? With taking the advice of your seniors? Chief Rindo. Come on, seriously. If you really want to go chase non-humans, you should at least do your homework first. Homework? Incidents like this have occurred before. In the past, the GPM have attempted to force its way into control over Cafe Enchante. Bingo. They changed once they discovered that there was a gate here. They were quite immature about it. Still are. So what happened? There's no way we'd let him have it. Well, you can imagine. You call it a beating. A nice, thorough, hefty beating. Had a ceasefire agreement since then, but the one still in charge of monitoring the cafe is me. That's why I'm a regular too. You know, you'll be in enough trouble with a single regular Demon King. Are you trying to take on a boss like Miser? A Demon King? Wait, oh no. You guys are kidding me. This is basic knowledge at the GPM. Miser Rex, who hangs out in Cafe Enchante. Most feared non-human, a Demon King. We need to review our training program. That's what Mr. Rendo muttered as he looked back at us.
まあそんなわけでさ
At the end of the day, I gotta tell you that the raid conducted by these geniuses was not the will of those of us at the GPM.
僕の頭でよければ
Please do allow me to apologize. Can we bury the hatchet between us? For me? As long as Enchante remains, then I ask for nothing more.
別に林道は関係ねえが
You know, Rendo, you being here would have made a difference. I'm no bully. It's best we just stop here. To me, the evil king of the non-humans, plucking these little weeds right here and now doesn't sound like a bad idea. He looks to me as if to ask for permission. I vigorously shake my head side to side. I'm alright as long as they don't do anything to harm the cafe. There you have it. The owner has decided to spare you.
そう言ってくれて
Oh, what a relief.
そこからほっとそれじゃ君たちは帰って
Okay
くれ
then,
た
you heard her.
後で
Get out of
山の
here.
ような始末書を一
I'll
緒
have
に
you all write apologies later too. But don't think you're out of the woods yet. Ugh.
ちなみに僕としては
Just so you know, I did try to convince him not to take over the shop.
するつもりだったんだもう決めたんだね
But you made your decision, haven't you?
常連
Yes.
客が魔王
The regulars. A demon king, a headless knight, a fallen angel, and a demon beast.
ドイツ
Any one of them could cause destruction.
大ふとしたことで
I have to say, you in this shop, the entire world could be affected by you.
それでも君は
And yet, you still take over Cafe Enchanté.
を継ぐのかい
I stare once again at Enchanté's sign. I considered the name of this place where Grandpa and the others had forged so many memories together. Yes. I nod as if to take it all in. I understand that it's selfish. The end of the world, maybe I don't understand it as well as I should, considering something as giant as that. But Mize and the others talked about Grandpa over the years. Their warm smiles, all of them so bright and dazzling. They were just so beautiful, I just didn't want to lose that. The regulars focused their attention on my declaration once again.
やはり彼女はソーアンの
You truly are the granddaughter of Soan.
とてもいい
I
人
can
です
see you are really a good person.
胸に響く言葉
Words have shaken me to my core.
どうこれで
Well,
少しは
you think you've gained a little interest in her now, Ignis? Yeah, that speech was alright. Oh, that's right, I'm sorry. I decided on my own without asking any of you.
いいんじゃない
That's quite alright.
向かっては言え
I couldn't tell you directly, but we were all hoping you'd take over the shop.
継いで欲しかったわけ
Agnes is so formally is annoying. You're gonna stay, talk to us normally. It's just weird otherwise. Oh, understood. I mean, sure. Meanwhile, Mr. Rindo stood as if he gave up, shaking his head.
そっか
I see.
君が
Useless to try and convince you otherwise if you arrived at this decision on your own.
もうこ
With a bitter smile, Mr. Rindo looks at Miser and the others.
それにアンシャンテ
And if Enchanté reopens for business, I'll stop by from time to time. Mostly just to keep tabs on all of you, of course. But, if any non-humans here ever give you any trouble, please remember to call me. Okay, my little shopkeeper? Okay, I'm sure I will, Mr. Rindo.
人聞きの悪い
It's absurd.
我ら
We do nothing to
が
hurt
害
her.
するわけがなかった
全くですね
Absolutely.
リンド
She is far more valuable than you,
気
Rindo.
になりません
Oi, wait a sec, Rindo. Think you're just gonna sneak away? You're crap today, this is a little payback. No thanks. Besides, we humans have a saying, live to fight another day. Smiling, Rindo escapes as Ignis chases him. This cafe has been a nurturing environment of friendships for the regulars, Mr. Rindo included. These interactions cross the boundaries between humans and non-humans alike. I turn back towards Enchanté. I'm sure conversations like this happened every day throughout the history of the cafe. Maybe up to me to be able to bring back that kind of spirit around here. Still, I don't know anything about that goal that seems so very far away now. Still, I'm sure...
マスター
Less.
これから
I hope you take good care of us. Yeah. And there we go. That was delightfully charming. I really enjoyed that. Let's save it there. That's not a choice, so I can save over that. Wow, that was really good. I really enjoyed that. That was absolutely delightful. I didn't expect it to be this good. This is just a very, very solid visual novel right now. I expected it to be a lot more, like, a lot more wishy-washy and a little bit trashier. But man, this is just a really good and charming story so far. I really enjoyed this. That's good to know I have this in the back burner now. I'm amazed that I found this in the first place, and that I have just a physical copy of this cartridge. Fantastic. But anyway, yeah. Thanks for hanging out. This was a delight to see. Streaming next, I might make a stream on Friday. I'm probably gonna take a nap tomorrow because I am real tired right now. And I stop that. Yeah, just sit on this thing. What the fuck is this? Sit on this menu for a bit. Yeah, this was delightful. I don't know when I'm going to be streaming back again. Probably Friday. I'm pretty wiped right now, and I had busy Monday, Tuesday. So, might take a nap tomorrow. Be back streaming Friday. Don't know when I'm going to stream. Maybe more of this, maybe something else. I've got a couple games on my list that I want to check out. What did I just add to my streaming candidates? If I'm gonna go back to having a late week game, I might do one of the action games that I've been putting off. What's on this? Let's see. There is... Might be Momodora, might be, another one might be good for, a good stream candidate that, I picked up recently. It's called Bug Fables. It's a very interesting looking, Paper Mario kind of game. And I've never actually played a proper Paper Mario game, so that'd be interesting to play. But we'll figure that out later. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for checking Cafe Enchanté out with me. This was this is really good. Are we gonna continue it? That's a definite maybe. This was very charming, and hopefully the game keeps on being just this absolute delight to play. So yeah. Off tomorrow, maybe back Friday. We'll see how it works out. I still got so much shit to do. I have Christmas shopping to do still. Oh god. Anyway. Fucking...